treasure. Mark likes toys. Today, Mark's grandma brought a present for him, a new toy train. Mark was having so much fun with his new toy. But when Mark threw his car and his train against the wall, and when he stepped on his other toys, his grandma and his toys looked sad. "Mark, you're hurting your toys. You should treat them nicely," his mother said to him. "Treat them nicely? No way!" Mark replied as he continued throwing his toys about. "Mark, the toys are afraid of you. They won't want to play with you if you treat them like that," his mother said, but Mark pretended not to hear. That night, the sound of a train approaching woke him up. He got up, tiptoed over to the door, and peeked into the next room where he could see a train. Full of excitement, Mark boarded the train. With a whoosh, the door of the train closed behind him, and the train began to move. "Hi, are you going to Toyland too?" Mark heard a voice from behind him ask. "I'm Marty. Pleased to meet you. I hear some terrible things have been happening in Toyland these days." "Terrible things?" "Yes, indeed," Marty continued. "They say a frightening monster is going around wreaking all kinds of havoc. Everyone is terrified." Mark, now even more excited, asked, "Are you going there to take care of that monster?" "Oh no," Marty said, looking intently at Mark. At that moment, the train came to a stop. "Ah, it appears we've arrived," Marty said with a smile, and the two of them exited the train. Coming out from the station, Mark looked with shining eyes. Wow! They were now in Toyland, a place where all sorts of toys live. "Marty, we've been waiting for you. Come help us." Cars, dolls, and all kinds of other toys gathered around when they saw that Marty had arrived. Mark looked at the toys around him, only to find that all of them were covered in bruises. "It's causing an awful lot of problems." "It's really awful. Every day we are so scared." All the toys cried out, quaking in fear. "Marty, are you going to take care of that monster?" Mark asked again. "No, I didn't come here for that. I only came here to teach him." "Teach him what?" As Mark was about to ask the question, he heard a scream in front of him. "He's here! The monster! Run away! Hurry!" The toys ran from the monster, crying as they fled. Mark looked up at the monster's face. "Is that me?" As the big monster reached out his hand to grab hold of Mark, Marty stood in its way. "Marty!" "Mark, do you understand now? What your toys are going through? I came to teach you about this." "What do you mean?" "Don't you see what your toys think of you?" "They say, he's scary, he's scary." "Yes, they are scared." Just then, the big monster grabbed hold of Marty. "Marty!" Little Mark shouted as he reached for Marty with all of his might. "I know, Mark. I know that you are a good boy who can take good care of his toys." Marty turned to the big monster and gave a big smile. The next moment, the big monster hurled Marty powerfully through the air. Mark realized he was still in his bed. He quickly got up and headed for his toy box. He picked up the Marty action figure which had been left on the floor and hugged it dearly. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "Mark, what happened to your toys?" Mark's grandma exclaimed in surprise after noticing the bandages Mark had put on them. "I hurt them, so I wanted to make them feel better." "Well, that's very kind of you," his grandma replied happily. "It's true. Mark has been so kind to his toys lately," his mother added. "Your toys must be so happy to play with you, now that you treat them nicely," his grandma said with a smile as she patted him on the head. "I'll treat all of them nicely. That's what I was taught." "By whom?" "That's a secret," Mark replied as he hugged his Marty action figure close to his chest. The end.